Right, what have I got to do? Bush, well, jingle in a bush anyway. It is something from Anex. Now, I hadn't tried Anex before, but somebody pointed out, and I get so many comments, so I can't keep track, but somebody pointed out in one of the comment sections, you quite like some of the Japanese tools, try Anex. I'd never tried any of this stuff, so this is the first time I've tried this stuff. I have actually tried this briefly and put it back, so just to prove it, it does come in and out. When it originally came, there was a staple that went from here to here, but I put it back. I just wanted to show you how you would get it in retail packaging, and this is exactly how you would get it. So what is this? It's the Anex 6102T. So there's the number if you were looking for this. And obviously this is made in Japan, and I got this one imported, so it's all in Japanese. I don't know if it's available in, you know, the American and European markets with this translated, but I'll translate some of this because I'm okay with some of the Japanese languages. I'm not going to translate all of this though, because they are just like caution things saying don't do this, don't do that, don't stick it in your ear, you know, don't stick it up your arse or whatever. So back to the tool review. This is the Anex 6102T. Now it's a low offset. In fact, I'll tell you the offset. So it is a low or very, very low offset tool for using bit drivers. Now the bit driver itself is very small. So if you compare that to, let me just get my mini tools out. So if we were to compare that to, I call it a standard anyway, it's a round standard bit. That in itself, even before you put it into a driver, you know, the offset's quite large. I mean, there's the retaining section there, and you would generally go to about here in the tool. So for example, let's just compare just the driver, not the actual holding section here, but the driver itself, look, is tiny. So you get from there to there, it's 10 mil in total. So very, very, very small. It's basically just the very tip of a normal driver head. So that allows you to do things like that there. Now that is exactly the situation I had recently where someone had fitted a fridge into like a fitted kitchen setup, which is great, and they'd put the brackets on, but they'd put the brackets on, then put the fridge in, and the brackets come off. So there's no way I can get in there. It doesn't matter what driver I use. I even tried my trusty little Klein here, which actually I need to do an update on this because there's a problem with it. Where was it? Was it here? There, look. The surface is coming off. See that there? I've done this in 4K, so you might see. To see there? So that's a bit annoying. Anyway, that's not what this review is about. So I'll try to use this. The offset, I still couldn't even get in with this because once you put a driver into this, into the Klein, you've got like, is it something like a 20 or 25 mil offset? So let's have a look. So in total, if I put that on there, so you know, about 32, almost 33 mil offset. That's quite big for the job that I had in sort of mind for this. You know, the offset on this is 10. I'll just prove that. So it's about 10-ish, yeah. I mean, obviously I've got the little adder on there, but around 10. You can't see it underneath the thing there. So this was the only tool that would do it. I looked online and I thought, oh, Anex, somebody mentioned Anex, so I'll give them a try. Now, in regards to build quality, very, very happy with these. I used the, was it the Phillips 2? Because it comes with, you get a Phillips 1, a Phillips 2, and a slotted or flathead, depending on how you want to call that, number 6. And it is made in Japan. So I used the, would it have been the Phillips 2, I think. Yeah, there's the Phillips 2. So each one, it tells you what you're getting here. So Anex slim offset screwdriver. That's the number, not the number of the head, but that's the number of the item here, if you remember, on the top there. There's the number 2, and it is a 2x10 made in Japan. So I used that one just briefly, so there's not really any marks on it, but I only removed, hang on, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 different screws, then put them back in, so that's times 8 uses on that. So that's not a lot. And what really impressed me with this, the thing I was worried about this, I thought, this is never going to work because this is going to be bendy. Look, it's not. I'm trying. I'm honestly trying with all my force there. Look, you can see how hard I pressed, look. That is super thick and super strong. I'm very, very impressed with the thickness of that. It's like a real heavy lump of metal. That's a heavy piece of kit, that. The thing I worried about was I thought, you know, to get a bit of a decent torque in, you need to push it in and drive it. Now I thought, now bear in mind, there was no way I could get anything behind this due to the space that I was having to work in. But even right over here, just using my thumb, in, turn, no problems. The amount of force I was able to get on this was brilliant. Sorry that's going blurry there, that's my poor cameramanship. So excellent, decent bit of sort of paint or anodization, whatever that is on the top there. So like I say, I've only briefly used these, but very, very impressed. So let's just compare that. So you've seen that's like 32 mil offset. So let's see if we try something like the little saber cut. I've got reviews of all these if you want to go on the channel there. So there's the saber cut. Not a lot of offset on that, but even if I put it in that, that's probably about 20, 25, is it? Let's have a check. Yeah, just on it. See the tip there where my finger is? So about 25 mils, even on the saber cut, which is very, very small offset. And you know, even something like this. This is kind of a knockoff of an Anex. Is it an Anex or is it another Japanese manufacturer? I mean, this is Bro Poppy or whatever the hell they're called. So let's check the offset on that. Let's have a look. I should be using calipers for this, so I do apologise. But so look, around 30-ish, 31. So just as much as just slightly less than the Klein maybe. So quite interesting. Now you could argue, well, hang on, why don't you just get smaller bits and then the offset will be less? You're completely right. You don't have to use these level. You can actually get, I think Anex and another Japanese manufacturer, I know straight off the top of my head, do the reduced height bits. If there's other manufacturers that do them, stick it down below and let everyone know. And so they're not this level of height, and that does solve the issue a bit. But then some of them are so small, you end up having to use a pair of blinking Cobras or whatever to get the bit out. But okay. Right, get them out of the way. Let's go back to what we're supposed to be talking about here. So for people who don't speak Japanese, I'll just quickly go over this. So on here, that up here, I mean, that's just a link to the website, and this says something along the lines of slim offset. That's like, that's the rough translation of that, slim offset. And then that says basically a set or a pack of number 3. So a pack of 3. So you get the 3 there. And then on here, this big one says sort of, so you've got ultra thin driver. Well, I'm basically translating this ultra thin driver, and it's got sort of saying, you know, the shape's very flat, which allows you to use force. And yes, they're right, because that's flat and it's not round. I mean, you could argue you can still get force on that. I've never had a problem where I've thought I just can't get enough force on that. Although you're using it slightly differently. To get a bit of force in, I would tend to use another hand and then boom, boom, boom like that. If you imagine, you're not solely relying on your thumb, whereas in this instance you have to, because you can't actually get behind it due to the offset that's allowable. And it's nice and wide and flat, even for my thumb, and I'm quite a big guy. So yeah, so no problems with that. What else? So we've got and here it's just saying, you know, it's a bit of convenience. It's convenient for a narrow space, exclamation mark. It is convenient for a narrow space, and then you're getting around 10 to just over 10 mil. So if you are in America, I'm sorry I'm using millimeters, so if you're in America, I think that's 0.39 of an inch. Correct me down below if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I'm just so used to using millimeters because I'm in Europe here. Made in Japan, patent pending, blah, blah, blah. Right, what's on the back? Again, I'm not going to translate all of this or all of that, but basically you've got, I mean, that says paper. I don't know what that's all about. There's a little thing showing you ET's finger lighting up. No, to be serious, that is just showing you there is pressing force available on that. It's just saying it's got a flat surface for good finger pressure, and it's right. And then again, it's just repeating from the front there on that second line. It's just saying slim offset set of 3. Does that say 3? My Japanese is poor. I do apologise. Anyway, there's probably Japanese people watching this who are saying, you are butchering the Japanese language. That's not what that says, and that's fine. Correct me below. And I'm not repeating all of that. That's just caution. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't stick it up your arse and things like that. Okay, I wouldn't. Right, so let's talk about good points and bad points. So pros, very small offset. 10 is their claim. Yeah, it's about 10. But obviously, bear in mind, you know, the 10 is, you couldn't put it into a 10 mil hole. You need a bit of room to get it in there in the first instance and then put it in. So just bear that in mind. If you are thinking, oh, I've got in exactly a 10 mil space, I need to get it in. Ain't going to happen. You're going to have to get it in, then put it in. So just bear that in mind. So really, it's really impressive that the way they've done this. The heads themselves are very, very high quality, and they just don't move. It looks like they've used, it's not a circlip or anything like that, because there's no little dents on that, but it looks like it's probably a pressure fit or some sort of friction fit that has been pushed in and over and then clips over. I can't move that with my thumb. Look, I can't move that in any way. It's rock solid. The whole thing, construction wise, is rock solid, and I'm very, very impressed. But I want to give you a close look up of these. So there it is in 4K. I've done it at high bit rate as well before YouTube ruin it, and HDR. So there's a nice close view of it. And again, it looks like they've even painted the little thing that goes over the top. I can't move that. It's rock solid. That's another thing I was worried about. I thought, is that going to come flying off and go flying down the back of the fridge? And it didn't. So there, that is the Phillips number 2 there, up close. And the next one is the flathead. Let's get a nice close look at that in 4K. Perfect, no problems with that. I want to see a profile of that head, so there's a profile of it. There you go, beautiful. Sort of slopes in like a hollow grind and then flat at the top. I've got no problems with that. I haven't used, I'll be honest, I haven't actually checked the flathead yet, but this is an early review. If there's any problems, I'll let you know, but obviously this isn't a tool that I would use very regularly. I just happen to need this. There's a nice close-up there. And the last one is the Phillips 1, I think, so a little bit smaller. There, nice close-up of that. There you go. There. I haven't used the Phillips 1, I used the Phillips 2 about 8 times. So 4 screws out and then 4 screws back in. But no problems with that. Perfect. So, like I say, good points. Very small offset. But just bear in mind, you may need more to get in and around something, which I did. So I needed a little bit more than 10 in space-wise. But I had to go in and then boom, and that was no problem. Again, very well, you know, fit and finish is excellent. Rock solid. Look, I can't bend that. Even if I try. No, I can't bend that at all. So, excellent piece of kit. Nice thick piece of metal. You can put as much force as you want on that and it isn't going to go, you know, wibbly wobbly, you know, like some sort of piece of paper or whatever. Very well made. And made in Japan. Everything says made in Japan. Each tool itself is stamped with made in Japan. So quality should be highly up there. So what about the cons? Well, the only cons I can think of are price. But given the choice, I could go on Amazon now and probably find a knockoff version of this, which I'll tell you right now, I'm probably betting that would be half the thickness and it would wobble, and I don't know what the quality of the bits would be like. So, and my argument here would be, when you're in a really difficult position like this, you need the bit to be a high quality one, because it's all very well getting cheap ones, but you all know what I'm talking about here. You oh, look at this, you go in the dollar store and you go, look, you get 100 bits here, brilliant, I'll get all those, and they're made out of some mysterious monkey metal from planet Mars. They don't last. So why do that when you just pay a little bit more and get decent stuff? And I presume these are the high quality. Again, I've only used them for about 8 screws on the Phillips 2, so let's just bear that in mind. So I'm not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. This is an early review. Anyway, I think this review's been quite long enough. If you've got any questions, stick them down below. I'm very impressed with this. It actually makes me want to get more Anex stuff. So can you stick down below if there's any Anex tools that you own that you think I should get? I'm not just after engagement clicks here. I actually genuinely want to know. You know, in that regard, somebody did it. Where are they? Somebody did a little comment where they said, you need to try this brand here, and I listened to them and I went and got some. So if you are watching this, I will have a look at these at some point, mate. They look quite interesting. Anyway, so I need to give this a mark out of 10 for what it does and what it's designed to do. And its build, it's made in Japan and it worked perfectly for what I needed, like perfect. I'm gonna have to give it a 9.5. Why are you not giving it a 10, TrailTrek? What's wrong with you? Are you an idiot? No, well, sometimes I'm an idiot. However, I would say my argument in this regard is the price is quite high for what you're getting, but then, okay, it's kind of a specialist tool. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's fair and honest that I give this a 9.5. Okay, time to get on with the day. I've got some other things to look at. I'll put that the right way, but it might help unless you're in Australia. So thanks for joining me. Any comments, stick them down below. You have a good day. Goodbye now. Whee!